The boardroom was colder than I expected. Not in temperature, though the air conditioning hummed like a subtle executioner, but in the way their eyes avoided mine, and in the stillness that wasn't just silence. "We've decided to terminate your position." "Pack your things right away," the chairman said. I smiled. Nothing cruel, nothing desperate. Just a smile. My hands remained at my sides, calm, collected. On the surface, I walked through the motions, gathered papers, removed personal items from drawers. The office that once felt like an extension of me now felt alien. A week ago, my wife, newly crowned CEO, had walked in with that quiet, satisfied air. And I hadn't said a word, not a single word about the 71% stake I held, the silent leverage I carried like a loaded gun hidden in plain sight. As I slipped the last of my belongings into a box, I felt her gaze on me. From across the room, her posture perfect, a faint smirk playing on her lips. She thought she had won. That she had played the game better. I didn't respond. I left quietly. The elevator ride down was a meditation in controlled rage. Memories of her father's funeral replayed, the way she had subtly taken over, weaving herself into every decision, every smile of the board. My mind cataloged the subtleties, the small betrayals masked as loyalty. The lobby was nearly empty. People glanced at me, some whispering. I gave them nothing. Outside, I paused. A deep exhale. The city thrummed around me, oblivious, and I smiled again, this time because I had already begun thinking 5 steps ahead. Monday would be enlightening. I drove home slowly, each traffic light a pause in my internal monologue, a rehearsal of the next moves no one suspected. She thought she had cornered me, that I was powerless, but her ambition blinded her to one simple fact. I had always known the truth beneath the smiles, the strategic handshakes, the calculated compliments. Her first day as CEO had been a performance. I remembered the way she had commanded the room, her eyes darting, seeking approval, masking calculation with charm. And I had watched silently, letting her believe the throne was hers, letting her think I was irrelevant. Back home, I poured a glass of whiskey. The amber liquid caught the light like trapped fire. I raised it, toasting, though to what exactly I wasn't sure. A toast to patience, to foresight, to the silent storm brewing under calm waters. And then I smiled again, coldly. The week had only begun, and already I knew how the next act would unfold. Monday arrived with the precision of a scalpel. I didn't call, didn't protest, didn't hint. The board believed they had neutered me. My absence, they thought, was compliance. I spent the morning reviewing documents I had quietly saved, emails, financial statements, contracts, every subtle deviation, every hidden clause that could unmask the reality of ownership was there. Every step she thought was clever, every smile she thought disarming was catalogued. I didn't need witnesses. I only needed time and the right moment. At lunch, I sent a simple message. No emotion, no flourish. Just a calendar invite. My wife accepted, of course. She had no idea what it was for. The mask never slips until you allow it. When we met, she greeted me with that same calculated warmth, the kind designed to disarm and assert dominance at the same time. "I hear the board handled things delicately," she said, eyes sharp, almost predatory. I sipped my coffee slowly. "Delicately," I echoed, letting the word linger. Interesting choice. I placed a folder on the table, thick, silent, and heavy with truth. She glanced at it, her smirk faltering just slightly. "What's this?" "Documentation," I said simply. "All the records proving my 71% stake in the company." My voice was calm. I didn't shout. I didn't threaten. I didn't need to. Calm is louder than panic. The smirk dropped. Her eyes widened, heart rate visible in the pulse at her temple. She reached instinctively, but I didn't move. How?" Her words stumbled, fragmented by shock. I leaned back, serene. "I didn't need to fight. You thought I was irrelevant. You thought I'd let you take everything. You overplayed. And yet, here we are." Her hands shook. Not from rage, though that was there, but from the slow dawning of her defeat. She had played the board, manipulated appearances. Yet she had never accounted for my quiet calculation, my patience, my knowledge. I closed the folder. "Consider this. Notice," I said softly, "and consider the consequences of underestimating the wrong person." No screams, no confrontation, just a pause, a moment where the weight of truth pressed down with clinical precision. I left the room, the office, the building, the life I once had in that space, but not my control, that I carried with me, silent, unshakable, absolute. Outside, the city pulsed as if nothing had happened. And yet, for her, nothing would ever be the same. She had crossed a line she didn't know existed. I walked away, calm, detached, nothing left but the satisfaction of a storm perfectly orchestrated. And in the quiet, I realized the game was never about the boardroom. It was never about power. It was about knowing, waiting, and moving when the time was mine. Monday had been enlightening. And the rest, well, that was a story she would never forget.